Hey y'all, welcome to the show. This is the Are You Living on Purpose show, and today we have a guest with us today that I'm quite sure all of y'all should know by now. You know, Mr. James Bolden, Jamila's father. How you doing, Mr. Bolden?
I'm blessed. Mr. Kenny, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. You know, I know it's a lot of things been on your mind. You want to tell us what's on your mind and share what's really going on?
First of all, I like to give honor to God and my wife, because without God, we couldn't do nothing. And to share the things that's on my mind is basically how I feel about the process is going on. I understand that the person that did this heinous crime has been captured, but what I'm trying to get is answers. The what and the why and the purpose of your actions. And it's like, I'm trying to get people to understand from a father's point of view that, like I said in many interviews, I never knew that this would happen, but to be a father where you sit and the baby being born and you cut the umbilical cord and you wipe the baby face and the baby open their eyes, they can't see right off, but they can see your silhouette. So for that being the first thing that Jamyla seen put joy in my heart. But what crushed my heart was the last scene that plays in my mind, every day. Sometimes it get to a point where it feel like a nightmare, where you can see your daughter being wheeled down the hallway, just have, I say, a yard string of life left, but her eyes open enough to have enough conscience to just see you for the last time. In her eyes, her eyes is just like, she want to cry, but the tears just won't run down her face, But her spirit spoke to me to the point where it was saying, Daddy, help me. And all I can think of is, God, can you fix this? Just fix it. Whatever I need you to do, just fix this. But let it be your will. And that's from the heart. That's a feeling that I really think people won't understand unless they actually experience it themselves. And I extend my heart out, to everyone that lost a child. And it don't have to be a young child. It can be a teenage child. It can be an adult child. But we all children of God. But right. Whatever your circumstance may be, I now know how it feels to experience that type of pain. So what I'm expressing to people is, it's not about getting out here just to be seen. I'm getting out here to get answers and to get an understanding. That's
yeah, it was like you were left out.
Right.
All the attention was on the mother.
Right.
And like the father didn't even exist or played a role in the girl's life.
Right. So what that's my purpose in getting out here, to let people know that she had a father that loved her unconditionally. I can't express the words to say the type of fun that we had. I am a disciplinarian, but I also know when to play and when to let her and her other siblings know, okay, Daddy playing. We always joke. Anything we did, it was family oriented. I can't do nothing without my kids. When you work a lot, just trying to make ends meet and to take care of your kids, every little piece of time that you have, you're going to want to take advantage of it. You'll want to enjoy it,
Yes, that's true.
You'll want to get every hug, every kiss, every joke.
Well, you were saying something about a void that your wife couldn't feel. You know, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, basically, my wife's still trying to get a grasp about it, and let's get a clarity about this. My wife, Victoria Bolden, not Kendrick Henderson, her mother. My wife knew my daughter for a couple of years. They had a good relationship. You know,
So they actually had formed a bond.
Yeah, they formed a bond. They talked, they joked together, they did their girl things when I had the boys with me. You know, like, you know, the girl things that they do, stuff that I can't do. But when we had the funeral, my wife told me, she whispered in my ear that I can't go up there and view the body. I'm just going to sit here because I want to remember her as she was before that day occurred. So I had to give her that in order to be an upstanding man and a good husband. Now let's get one thing straight. I'm not perfect. But what I'm saying is I'm striving to be perfect.
Now the one that didn't want to go see her was your wife.
Was my wife.
Was your wife.
Was my wife.
The one that you're married to now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We just want to make sure we got that straight.
Right. She didn't want to view the body. But I can say this. Besides seeing my daughter like that and having that feeling, it's just on the same level as when I asked the security ushers to let me be the one to shut the casket on my daughter's body, well, her flesh. And in order for my daughter to get eternal life from a father's point of view, and me being a follower of Christ, I had to bury the flesh. But I never would have thought that closing the casket on her would be the reality of it. I looked at it as vice versa. Is they doing that for me? But God don't make no mistakes. Things happen for a reason. For every action, there is a reaction. So all I'm trying to do at this point is let people know that I'm not invisible. I hurt every day.
Yeah, they don't seem to know what you even going through.
No, they just feel that all of us that are men that have children don't want to do what they supposed to do.
Well, I think that notion came from America.
Right.
America's standpoint of view, they so used to being in people's business, you know, and then the mothers, you know, let them in. Some of the mothers let them in. They want to take up on this child support thing and think every man ain't taking care of their child, you know. So they put that stereotype out there, you know, to make it look like that the fathers don't exist.
Yes, sir.
You know, they did it way back in the day when some of our people's on welfare.
Yes, sir.
You know, they want the father living in the home, keep him separated. When they get a woman money to take care of the kids, and you know, they used to go in and look all up in the bed, you know, and
yes,
stuff
sir.
like that, you know. So that's America's fault, you know, to play a role like the man don't even exist, like he don't even want to take care of his own child.
Right.
And we know that's not the case here.
And that's the problem that we have, because I'm not finna sit here and tell you all men good, and I'm not finna sit here and tell you all men bad.
Yeah, you can't speak for the whole.
Right. So what I'm saying is the ones that are doing what they doing, even the ones that's trying to do what they do, this is a give and take situation. It take two to make one.
Yeah.
And when you come together to make that one, I can say this. When I was a young father with my first son, James Jr., and then Kendall and JAMYLA came into play. And when we was getting to the point where there was getting a division going on, it was more me being unhappy with the situation. And it also was me dealing with self, like things that I'm dealing with personally. I went to my aunt that's been a therapist for over 40 years, and I asked her, if I decide to leave the mother of my children and my children, do I necessarily have to be in the household to be a father to my kids, even though I'm unhappy? She told me, everybody called me Rodney, so she said, Rodney, as long as you doing what's right and you spending that time and you taking care of your kids on a mental and physical level the best that you can, that's all that matters. And I took that to heart. And I use that on a day-to-day basis. In everything I do, I take to God. Because, like I keep saying, without God, we can't do nothing out here. God is my strength. He is our strength. So, with that being said, I had to let a lot of things go. I had to come to a reality to the fact that in order for me to respect you, Mr. Kenny, and anybody else, creed or color, I had to first be able to respect myself.
That's right. That's where it started. Self.
So
that's why the Bible said, love your neighbor as you would yourself. So if you love yourself, then you won't, get caught up in harming people's, or because you love yourself so much, and you don't see you knocking your own self upside the head,
But I know when it comes to the kids, love your kids. Every moment you have, hug your kids. Tell them, don't turn them down.
Yeah, and the thing about it, now that you're saying it, the thing that really gives me is, and I don't believe a lot of parents mean any harm, when they tell their kids, you bad, you this, you ain't gonna never be nothing, but that's something that we do need to stop, because, at that time that child's mind, subconscious mind is wide open. And all that stuff you throwing in there will make that child feel just like what you saying they not going to be. So that's something that we need to stop doing, is putting our kids down and speak life into them.
Right. So, like I said, for the ones out here doing or trying to do, if you know you're doing right in your heart, don't let no one tell you nothing different. Not your family, the other side of the family, as long as you doing what's right. Because once you let them in, it's gonna be a headache from the beginning to the end. It's a non-stop circle. It's 1 minute you this, 1 minute you that, 1 minute you this. Don't get on that roller coaster ride. If you know you're doing what you're doing, continue doing what you're doing.
That's right.
Because today and any other day is a blessing that God wakes us up and let us see another day, because it's not promised. We don't know where we're going to be. We don't know where we're going to go. It's only God that know our destiny. He know our purpose in life. He know the ins and outs, where we begin and where we going in.
That's right. You got it wrote in the book.
So,
blueprint.
Right. So if you're going to stand for something, I'm just putting a seed out there. Try Christ. Try Jesus. And see how many doors that He'll open for you. Try to change the atmosphere in your household. Try to step up and be that head. Because in the book it say we are the head, not the tail. So my words to the men, young men, and the younger men that's going to become men, stand your ground. Be proud of who you are.
And they got to understand what it means to be a father, what it means to be a man. Because nowadays these kids now is thinking that driving the big old fancy cars or having a lot of money in your pocket or making a baby, all of this is part of being the man. No, it's not.
I got one word for a description of a man. Sacrifice.
Okay.
Sacrifice. That's what the Spirit telling me now. Sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice for your child?
Yes,
What are you willing to give up? Are you willing to give up them 20s? Are you willing to give up that Bentley? Are you willing to trade your life to save their life? What are you willing to give up? I can sit here today and tell you that I was willing to give up every organ in my being for my daughter to walk out of there, or to at least be okay. But me knowing my daughter like I do, and she was a beautiful spirit inside and out, a very well-behaved child, but every child had their moments. What child doesn't? But she wouldn't allow me to be laying there and the doctors fixed and patched her up, when she always looked at me as her Superman. She always looked at me as her go-to person, as a father. When she had a problem, she could call me. When there was things wrong, she would call me. When she didn't feel comfortable somewhere, she would call me. Now, I'm not saying I stopped to do everything, but I did stop and I listened. Went to my bosses or wherever I was at, look, I need something to take care of. Everywhere I go, anybody I deal with, emergency to me is my family. Them are my fruits. Them are what I buried and brought to help bring to this world. So when there's a problem with them, there's a problem with me. I'm not a violent man. I'm a reasonable man. But I'm a man that loves his kids. A man that's willing to give up whatever. I will go broke for my children. I'm not telling nobody else to do what I do. Be your own man, but do it in the right way.
That's right.
Put your kids first. Put God, if you're married or you're not married, your wife, then your kids. That's how it is in the book. And I'm learning that every day.
Okay.
Every day. So, yeah, I hurt. I miss them. Talk about it every day. But the thing that I talk about is the fact of all the good times we had. I don't talk nothing about any bad times. I don't remember too many bad times except for that. That's like the worst thing that I can remember, but I'm trying to not suppress it. I'm trying to release it. And I'm getting that through the help of God. And I am a testimony. I'm a walking testimony of that.
That's right.
I've lived a life of ups and downs. I've seen death. I experienced it. And I can honestly say, if it wasn't for God that saved a ranch like me, if he can do it for me, Mr. Kenny, he can do it for anybody.
That's right.
It's all about, are you willing to sacrifice or submit to his word?
That's right.
The beauty of it is that God gives you a choice.
Right.
Just like this world. It gives you a choice. There is no division line. There's either God or the world. Which one you gonna run for?
That's right.
That's right. And I'm running
I
for
see it
God.
in the video. It ain't number two things, good or bad. Which one you gonna want? you know.
And that's basically what's on my mind, is the fact I miss my baby girl.
That's right. Yeah. You know. Me, you know, as a father, you know, I have a daughter as well, which is up in her 30s, you know, and got 4 grandkids myself. But like I say, me and my daughter, we didn't have the relationship you and your daughter had, you know, because I spent 19 years in prison. You know, and I had times where I thought about her. I had times where I was dreaming to see what she looked like, you know, and everything, and I had never seen her, you know, because I went to prison the year she was born, you know. So, in a way, you know, I I can't know exactly how you feel, but I know what it is that when you know you got a child, you know, and you know they out there, you know, and you know it's yours, you know, so, you know, you will kind of miss them, you know, so, ain't no kind of, but you will, you know, but, you know, you have to be strong and have to know who to talk to and be careful who you talk to.
Yes, sir.
You know, because you got folks out there pretend, you know, that they're all for your corner, but then when it all turn around, you know, it's a whole different ball game when all of the media die down, you know. And a lot of guys, that's all they want is to figure it's a big case. We all want the media attention and all this and that. You know, so like I told you a long time ago, I already know who the ones that want the media attention.
Yes, sir. And I just want to say that this media, these people, right now I can't let nothing turn me down. I can't let nothing pull me away from what's been keeping me above ground.
That's right.
And I'm trying to push and push and push until I get where he wants me to be.
Yeah, you have to be guided. You have to be guided. You have to be guided. God is our sufficiency. You know,
yes,
this flesh is insufficient, and people don't understand that. But as long as you read that word every day, you'll see that the Bible lets you know that this flesh, it ain't even liable. You know, the only thing liable in the flesh is the spirit.
Right.
You know, that's what wakes us up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? You can't grab yourself and say, hey, self, wake up.
Right.
You know, so we know the flesh is insufficient. And we know that without God waking us up, you know, we wouldn't, some folks all over the world don't even wake up, you know, so, yeah.
And then with that being said, you know, we are here to agree and disagree. And we're not going to get off into that, but my purpose of saying that is the fact that if you are chasing God, please have a one-on-one relationship with Him spiritually.
Most definitely.
That is the key.
Yeah, most definitely.
To moving forward.
That's right. People don't understand that when you go to church, you are congregating. That's congregating. Everybody gonna have. If you have 1,000 people up in that church, everybody gonna have 1,000 different opinions.
Surely.
You know, but when you have that personal relationship with God, you know, and it's nobody but you and Him, you know what I'm saying? That's the best relationship to have, because God can be favorable to you, real favorable, especially if you're doing like David, trying to be about chasing Him for His heart. You know, He'll bless you tremendously.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
So like I said, you got the name, I want to say the name of the game. You know, not toys game, but name of the game of life. You know, life is a schooling process for one.
Right.
And two, if you want to stay ahead, you have to keep your mind focused on Jesus. Because if you don't keep your mind focused, it'd be just like, who's that, Paul? Was that Paul or Peter that was walking? He told Peter, was that Peter or Paul? One of them he told, come and walk on the water. And when he came walking on the water, Peter got to walking on water, and when he looked down and seen that, hey, I'm walking on water, yeah, he started sinking.
His focus.
Right, he took his focus off the prize. It's all about the prize that's ahead of you, not what you're doing. It's all about keeping focus is like a magnet drawing you in.
Right.
But as soon as you take your mind off what you're doing and start realize, take your mind off what you're doing, what you're seeing, and start looking at what you're doing, you're going to always go downhill.
Yeah, because I can honestly say this. There's many pastors that I've been around, many pastors I've met, many pastors I've fellowship with, due to the fact of being a right-hand man to my pastor. I hear it all the time. If it don't line up with the word, ain't no point in you doing it.
Yeah.
And so lately, ever since this incident, I look at things different. I've been looking at them different, but I'm really looking at them different. Like, if it ain't lining up with the word, and everybody had their opinion on the word, but like I said before, we're here to agree and disagree. I'm not saying you wrong. I'm not saying you right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. And I'm not saying I'm right. What I'm saying is, get that one-on-one and let our Father tell you what's right and wrong. We just here as his children to be able to become be disciples, to give his word.
We supposed to be good stewards,
right?
You know, and like I say, you know how they go.
Right,
you know, that's a whole nother show.
Sure is. That's a whole nother can of worms.
Right.
But I appreciate you bringing me on. I appreciate, and I'm grateful for the support from KB Productions.
Thank you.
And many other people that been in the Bolden's family life. I'm grateful for that too. I'm grateful for the big and the small.
That's right.
But I'm grateful that God shined his light on me and my family, and he took my daughter home.
That's right.
So I'm grateful for that. Many may not understand it, but that's what's in my mind. That's what's in my heart. So I'm letting people know today that JAMYLA had a father that loves her more than words can even express.
That's right. Well, we got to end this now, and now you heard it from the horse's mouth, Mr. James Bolden. And, you know, like you say, you know, do what's right. You know, stand up, take care of your kids, be a man. You know, that's what makes you a man, is handling your responsibilities. Not 20, not big fancy cars, not big houses. That is stuff. Take care of your responsibilities. Do what Jesus said do.
Amen.
Take care of you.